Does it? All wins are great. Does this one feel important?
Yeah. We knew there was a lot of pressure before this game against a good opponent. First half was not easy. They were well organized, but we knew that we had to keep on going. We started the second.
Liverpool, and they are 7 points off fourth place Aston Villa. The task to reach the Champions League next season has got a whole lot harder for Chelsea. But of course, the big story is that despite Erling Haaland not being on the score sheet, Manchester City managed to get a 3-0 victory at Stamford Bridge. Pep Guardiola's team are 6 points behind Arsenal, and as we've just been hearing from John, they have to play them at the Etihad next weekend, and City will still then have a game in hand. It is all to play for at this stage of the season. Micah, is it on?
It's on. I told you before the game, if it was to win this first half.
That felt more like a resounding statement and message than a performance. How good was City today, second half especially?
I think second half especially, like you say, we did well. We just want to improve, just want to get better. When you've got the players like this guy, it's fantastic. But keep our feet on the ground, recover, focus on the next one.
Ryan, Mark obviously got the second goal, but it was all about the pass into him, wasn't it?
Yeah, when I give the pass for him, I'm not good because I don't know if he score, but when I see he score, I'm very happy for him, for the team, and now we can go play against Arsenal. That's a big game for us.
It was a big game. It was a striker's finish from him, though, wasn't it? Great pass, but fair play to Mark.
It's not my pass. It's him. When he controlled the ball, he touched very nice the ball because the ball is not good. I don't know why he changed the ball, but I'm very happy for him.
The manager, I don't know if you heard, talked about you being a free soul, a free spirit in the week. How do you feel the pressure, or do you just enjoy the opportunity to help your team and win big games?
No, I don't feel the pressure. I don't want to feel the pressure. I just want to play with my teammate, give the pleasure, give the good pass for him, for Erling, for all players, because we need goal. Don't concede the goal, and today he do a big job for us, and we are very happy.
Mark, as they were for much of the second half, your supporters are singing, "Are you watching Arsenal?" I know you're not one for a provocative statement, but do you hope they were?
I don't think it matters, to be honest. Like I said, it's the most important thing, even though it's cliches, that we did the job today and we can focus on the game coming up now. But, you know, everyone did their job today. Thanks to God today for helping us, and, you know, let's just move on to the next one.
Lastly, what is it like being part of this City group when you're hunting a title?
This is the last one!
Go on, Mark, quickly. What is it like hunting a title with this group? And then we go.
It's great. It's fantastic. It's good.
Nice. People are waiting. Your player of the match? There's a debate here.
Well, Mark Gahey and Ryan Cherki giving us their thoughts on the match itself. Mark Gahey's not been at the club that long. He might well, and nobody's counting any chickens, end the season as a Premier League champion. It's certainly looking a lot more likely than it did before this start of games this weekend. But Cherki is getting the Man of the Match award that was given to Mark Gahey. They can take that with Gary Neville, who actually made the award in the first place. But he's only been there since January, Mark Gahey, and yet he comes in and he's already speaking the right language. He's saying the right kind of thing. He's saying it's not over just yet. We still have a lot of work to do. But what a weekend it has been for Manchester City. At the bottom, a big win for West Ham to start the weekend off on Friday night with a 4-0 victory against Wolves. That took them out of the bottom three, and it meant that Tottenham dropped into it. Arsenal were beaten by 2-1 by Bournemouth in the lunchtime kickoff. There was a fight-back draw for Everton at Brentford. Burnley beaten 2-0 at home by Brighton. Liverpool with a 2-0 victory against... Where are they falling short?
Defensively and individual mistakes. You know, and attacking wise, to be honest, because for all the stats we talk about in terms of them being great at creating chances and all these different types of things, they're not putting the chances away. You know, the defeats that they've suffered in recently, bitterly disappointing, to say the least. And I think that the manager will know his expectation level of these players would be to kick on. He's had a bit more time with them now. He's trying to build something with them, and it's just not working out as it should. When you look at those results for a club of Chelsea's magnitude, that can't be happening. The players aren't performing to the level they should be. the big name players who were top players last season, who were performing to their level, haven't hit their level, hit the heights that they've hit over the course of their Chelsea careers. Very disappointing time for them. They've got big games coming. And to be honest, the most pivotal thing for Chelsea Football Club right now is ensuring they make that Champions League, because, you know, we talk about the recruitment and all these things, but attracting players at a club without Champions League football is going to be very difficult for them.
Not just attracting players. I mean, they find themselves 4 points behind Liverpool and Aston Villa, who are inconsistent at this stage of the season. So it's not, 4 points and 7 points isn't necessarily beyond Chelsea. Certainly 4 points to overcome. But there are players who are at the club who are talking about possibly their future being elsewhere. Marc Cucurella was making noises about being not unhappy, but maybe a little bit unsettled and not entirely satisfied with the transfer policy. And then you've got the Enzo Fernandez situation that Pat asked Liam Rosenior about there as well. So it's not just about bringing players in and attracting them, Micah. It's about keeping the players they have as well.
It's not good, though. I think some of the things that the players have said, I think there was alluding to the want a few more experienced players. It's how can you build...
Well, Marc Cucurella said that, and he's 27.
Yeah, but in terms of, you need a few more. If you have a team where you buy in at, say, 18 to, say, 23, and you know about the resale value, we get all that sort of stuff. And if they stay here for a long period of time, that'll be fine, because they can all grow together, they can build a team. However, when you look at Chelsea's back line today, was that going to be good enough to stop Man City's attack? And you have to say no. We showed stats before the game in terms of they're creating chances, but they're not taking them. And the manager said in his interview, it's about moments. At the moment, Chelsea are not taking the big moments in the games. And then once they concede a goal, they sort of capitulate. If you had a few more stronger characters, senior pros in the dressing room, it might just help on that front.
Yeah, and I don't just think it's that. I also think it's players who are closer to being the finished article. You know, they spend 40, 50 million quid on players, and no disrespect to them, but when you look at someone like a Kvaratskhelia at PSG, who for 70 million euros in January, they go and buy him, and you saw the quality, what he did to Chelsea over 2 legs, and you sort of think, he was available, yet you go and buy multiple players when you could just spend more on one, that you have more of a sense that he's played Champions League football, he's done it at the highest level, we know what he's about, and I think that's what it is. It's all good and well investing in potential, but sooner or later, potential is not enough. That's got to come true. So you have to buy senior players, because those are the ones that lead by example. Those are the ones that will help these players develop into the players we hope they can become.
How do you feel this has all been handled?
I mean, look, you're a manager who you feel like you have to discipline the player based on what he said. That's fair enough. I think it doesn't help them today. It would have helped the team, potentially win the game today. But I understand why the manager done it. What he said wasn't very nice, to be honest. It wasn't the best thing you could have said, having a little flirt up. But that's sometimes what you do. And for me, I think that it could have helped the team today. Everybody knows that. But the manager's got to do what he's got to do. He felt that was best for the group to set the standards, to set a precedent, for it not to happen again. Fair enough.
I think it was the right thing to do, but I would only done it for one game, because it was Port Vale, and you're thinking, especially with the pressure that he's been under, it's been very difficult. I think they've done all right, like I said before, Chelsea, but to put that pressure on yourself, and I've talked about Liam Rosenior and the comments that he's made in terms of that everyone's talking about, he's sort of almost Brent-like, and I don't think this type of thing helps his situation. He's always honest in his interviews, but I also think he's too honest in terms of he's giving the media too much. And I just think this is just a bigger storm than it needed to be. If you look at how Pep dealt with it as well, with Rodri, and he said, who wouldn't want to play for Madrid? And he could have done that, but the fact that he's gone to 2 and it could hinder them today, he would be very...
And sort of